Grabe po. How the Filipinos are starting this week po. Today is Monday, September 8 na po. And ang dami po nangyari sa Pilipinas today po, Monday, September 8. But first and foremost, I would like to say greetings muna po. Very important greetings po to Mama Mary, who is celebrating her birthday today, September 8 po. Si Mama Mary, to all our brothers and sisters, all those who are embracing the Roman Catholic faith, mga Kristiyano po. Today is the birthday of Mama Mary, and maskin paano po, let us not forget to say a prayer, thanks her for all the love that she has given to us, no? Mga faithfuls na po. And of course, let's thank her also for everything what we are enjoying yesterday, today, and will enjoy tomorrow po. Let us always remember Mama Mary as our mother po. And this goes to all the Christians, to all those embracing the Roman Catholic faith. As what I said, sabi ko po, grabe, no? Nakumpisa tayo ang week long, working week long para sa mga Pilipinas po. Ang dami mga surprises today that happened in the Philippines. At ano-ano yung mga surprises ngayon po? Very serious. One is, may bago na tayong Senate President. Yung dating Senate President natin, si Senator Tito Soto, bumalik na po as Senate President ng Pilipinas. Nag-ousted o nag-step down na po si Senate President Chis Escudero. And mayroon na yung mga news po since last week po, but we thought this will not happen. But this morning, grabe na po ang mga, sabihin natin, mga istorya, mga rumors, mga expectations po, no? That Chis Escudero, Senate President Chis Escudero will be replaced by a former Senate President, si Senator Tito Soto. And it really happened po kanina. And kanina, alas 3 po, when nag-start po ang Senate plenary session, nag-umpisa sila po with declaring the Senate post, Senate President's post as vacant. And tayo si Senator Zubiri, Mig Zubiri po, and he proposed the next Senate President to be si Senator Tito Soto. And immediately there was a voting, unanimously he was, Tito Sen was elected as the new Senate President. And then si Senate outgoing Senate Chis Escudero, nagbigay na po ang taking kay the new Senate President, si Tito Soto. Transition-wise, maganda po. In fact, si Senate or outgoing Senate President, si Chis Escudero, also thanked and showed the support to the, sabihin natin, veteran and former Senate President and now Senate President again po, si Tito Soto. Maganda po ang transition, and let's see what will happen in the next or during the administration again of Tito Sen, or Tito Vicente Soto. Yun po, that's one thing po. The other thing is that the other news or the other thing that happened today dyan po sa Pilipinas is that itong flood control anomalies po, no? Mga projects po dyan sa Pilipinas, which is very hot sa media. This has been going on, very hot issue ito po sa Pilipinas, and to all the Filipinos, not only those in the Philippines but also those Filipinos outside the Philippines po. We have been monitoring, and we want to know the real truth. There must be justice and accountability. But today, during the third hearing of the Blue Ribbon Committee, chairman or chair by no less than si Senator Rodante Marcoleta po, nagbigay ng affidavit. Also very controversial po and very nagiging popular na po ang pangalan nila po, ang Diskaya, owner ng they are the contractors po sa more than 400 flood mitigation or flood control projects po nationwide. They are among the top 15 contractors named by no less than our President, si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos last month. No? Last month ba yun? Yeah, last month. And what they did, husband and wife, si Pacifico Diskaya, at saka ang wife niya po, si Sara Diskaya po, they came out openly and name kung sino-sino po ang mga involved sa mga transaction nila po. Both congressmen, officials, top officials coming from the Department of Public Works and Highways po. Nag-reveal na po, no? Nag-reveal na sila and they are applying for state witness po. State witness. I don't know if the Senate will grant them or will approve their application as a state witness po. First and foremost, they have to be charged first, and if they are the least culpable, so maybe they will be accepted as a state witness po, no? As a state witness po during this, sabihin natin, itong probe. Now, what the other thing is that mayroon din tayong mga issues dyan po sa House of Representatives. And at the same time, maybe I'll be touching a little bit on the formation, establishment of flood control independent commission by President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos po to investigate itong anomalya dyan po sa flood control projects po nationwide, which is a very hot issue now. But anyway, to start with po, let me share with you this idea, this news article po, no, about the new president of the Senate. And nandito po, I got this news article, bagong-bago ito, fresh na fresh ito po, coming from the ABS-CBN and .net. It is a mainstream media po dyan sa Pilipinas. The heading of the news article is Soto replaces Escudero as a Senate President. And nandito po ang detalles ng news that I'm going to share with you. Senator Vicente Soto III on Monday reclaimed the Senate presidency from Senator Francis Escudero. Senator Mig Zubiri nominated Soto as Escudero's replacement. As Senate President, he always led with fairness and transparency, and he led with an open ear and decisive hand, ensuring unity and stability in the Senate at all times. Most importantly, he was traditionalist in the very best sense of the word, consistently upholding the rules and traditions that protected the Senate as the nation's last milestone of democracy, Zubiri said. Senator Loren Legarda backed Soto's nomination. With no objections and no other nominees, Soto was declared Senate Chief. Soto earlier in the day said he secured the backing of 15 senators for the leadership change. He said he and other senators had issues with the previous Senate leadership, but he was quick to point out that this did not include flood control issues. He added, they talk about the change in the leadership weeks ago. Escudero said he understands the respect the decision of the majority of the colleagues. I hold no grudges. I hold no ill feelings, he said as he congratulates Soto. Si Escudero yan po. Escudero added that first, that under his leadership, the Senate did not shy away from confronting the difficult questions facing our nation and conduct hearing that unearthed corruption on a scale rarely seen before. Sabi ni Escudero, I am proud of what the Senate accomplished together, and I trust that the spirit of transparency and courage that have been displayed by this chamber will be sustained. Sabi ni Escudero. Senator Ping Lacson was named as the new Senate President pro tempore, while Senator Juan Miguel Zubiri would serve as Senate Majority Leader. Okay, what happened to the Duterte group? Hindi pa natin alam po, no? Hindi pa natin alam. So, ito po ang latest updates na mayroon tayo dito po sa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Bago ako makalimutan, I would like to welcome again lahat ang mga kababayan ko po dito sa Malaysia, be it sa West Malaysia, dyan po sa Kuala Lumpur area, and dito po sa Sabah, dalawang states tayo dito, Sabah and Sarawak sa East Malaysia. Lahat ng mga kababayan ko dito po, welcome sa inyong lahat who is watching itong Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Ngayon po, Monday na Monday, September 8, birthday ni Mama Mary, and today, ang Kota Kinabalu, we are experiencing rain. Hindi naman heavy, but it makes the environment, the temperature po, cooling ngayon dito po. Maganda ang day natin, Monday po. Hindi mainit, hindi flooding, may kunting rain tayo po, tamang-tama lang po to keep our self cool a little bit, not too hot, and start the week sa magandang temperature po. Sana lang po sa ulo natin okay din ang temperature natin, no? And yeah, cooling, but nagiging tumaas a little bit ang temperature namin dito po, mga Pilipinos dito sa Sabah, dahil po ito ng mga happenings dyan po sa Pilipinas. Anyway, sige, tuloy natin po ang programa natin dito po, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Alright, talking about itong Blue Ribbon Committee. This morning na po, nag-umpisa at 9 o'clock po, and they end up seconds before 3 p.m. po, no? Diyan sa Senado, because that room, the Senate will be using it for their Senate plenary session today po, scheduled today. So, they have to vacate. So, ang next hearing ng Blue Ribbon Committee will be the next Tuesday, and that will be on September 16. September 16 yan po. And I will continue to monitor po para this mga kababayan ko po dito sa Malaysia, mga overseas Filipino workers natin po, sa ibang parte sa mundo. You can tune in dito po sa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico, so you will be able to know ang mga updates regarding mga happenings dyan po sa Pilipinas. Dyan po sa Pilipinas. Alright. This time around, let me share you a video clip that I have prepared para sa inyong lahat po, no? Para sa inyong lahat po regarding itong revelation, confession, ang singing, ang kanta ni Pacifico and Sara Diskaya po regarding ang sino-sino talaga involved sa flood control projects anomalies po, no? Sila po ang contractor. But it seems that what is happening since last week, no? Na the blame is being solely put on the contractors, but actually, hindi dapat ang mga contractors, lahat sila may kasalanan po. But kailangan po, ang mastermind po, we have to kill the mastermind. They are part of it. Part sila po, ang mga contractors, ang mga government officials natin po sa the Department of Public Works and Highways, no? Mga empleyado. And mayroon pala po ang mga politician, mga congressmen involved. And it was made clear by this contractor po, no? Si Pacifico, Mr. Pacifico and Sarah, they already confirmed na they did not deal any dealings with any senators po when it comes to the flood control projects po. Anomalous flood control projects. Nandito po, I will share with you a portion of the hearing, investigation po, held dyan po sa Senado this morning. Please listen to this. Hold on. Sandali po.
Matapos namin manalo sa mga bidding, may mga opisyal mula sa...
Hold on, Let's listen to this.
Matapos namin manalo sa mga bidding, may mga opisyal mula sa DPWs ang lumalapit sa amin para humingi at kumuha ng bahagi nila sa halaga ng proyekto. Ang hinihingi nilang porsyento ay hindi pa bababa sa 10% at umaabot pa sa 25% na naging kondisyon upang hindi maipit ang implementasyon ng kontrata. Ito ay pinibigay namin sa kanila ng cash. Ang bawat transaksyon ay may karampatang voucher at ledger na nagsasaad ng mga araw at kung kailan nila ito natanggap. Ilan sa kanila ay sina Terence Calatrava, former Undersecretary of Office of the Presidential Assistant of the Visayas of the Philippines, Kong Roman Romulo of Pasig City, Kong Jojo Ang of Usmag Ilonggo Party List, Congressman Patrick Michael Vargas of Quezon City, Kong Juan Carlos Arjo Aitaide of Quezon City, Nicanor Nicky Briones of Aga Party List, Congressman Marcelino Marcy Teodoro of Marikina, Congressman Florida Robes of San Jose del Monte, Bulacan, Congressman Leandro Jesus Madroño of Romblon, Congressman Benjamin Benji Agarao Jr., Congressman Florencio Gabriel Bemnoel of Anwaray Party List, Kong Leo de Ode Tariela of Occidental Mindoro, Congressman Reynan Arrogancia of Quezon Province, Kong Marvin Rillo of Quezon City, Kong Teodoro Haresco of Aklan, Kong Antonieta Yudela of Zamboanga Sibugay, Kong Dean Asisio of Caloocan, Kong Marivico Pilar of Quezon City. 21. Mayroon ding mga kinatawa ng ilang politiko na nakikipagtakbo sa amin upang manghingi ng porsyento kapalit ng mga porsyento ng mga proyekto. Ang mga porsyento ito ay 25% ay ipinipilit sa amin bilang karaniwang kalakaran na wala akong kakainang tanggihan. Ilan sa kanila ay sina Regional Director Eduardo Virgilio of DPW's Region 5, Director Ramon Ariola III of Unified Management UPMO, District Engineer Henry Alcantara, DPW's Bulacan First, Undersecretary Robert Bernardo, District Engineer Aristotle Ramos of DPW's Metro First, Pasig City, District Engineer Manny Pulusan of DPW's North Manila Deo, District Engineer Edgardo C. Pingol of DPW's Bulacan Subdeo, District Engineer Michael Rosaria of DPW's Quezon Second Deo. Karamihan sa mga kawani ng DPWs na nabanggit sa itaas ay paulit-ulit na binabanggit ang delivery ng pera ay para sa kaisaldi ko na dapat at least 25%. Si Kong Marvin Rillo naman ay ilang beses na binabanggit ang pangalan ni Speaker Martin Romualdez bilang kanyang malapit na kaibigan. 25. Sa tuwing umiinom kami sa wine story sa PGC at sa Shangri-La Mall, sinasabi pa ni Kong Rillo na lahat ng kanyang request para sa pondo ay galis pa mismo sa unprogrammed funds at insertion na inaaprobahan ni Speaker. Ang tao ni Marvin Real na si Box Magalong ang pumupunta sa amin para kunin ang pera sa aming opisina o sa wine story. Si Kong Jojo ang naman lagi ring binabanggit sa lahat ng project sa kanya ay papondo ni Speaker at ni Saldico. Mataas ang hinihingi sa project, dagdag pa niya, hindi naman lahat ng pera ay para sa kanya kundi para kay Speaker at kay Saldico. Sa lungsod ng Pasig naman, lumapit sa akin ang DPW's project engineer na si Angelita Garucha para kolektahin ang parte ni Kong Roman Romulo sa flood control projects noong number 28. Pagdating ng 2025, si District Engineer Aristotle Ramos ang sumunod na nagpakilala na Batman ni Kong Roman Romulo kung saan 30% ang kanyang hiningi ay para kay Kong Roman Romulo. Sinabihan ko kay D.E. Ramos na masyado namang mataas, ngunit sinabi niya na walang magagawa dito dahil pondo ito galing sa program funds at insertion galing sa taas. Sa ilang pagkakataon ng mga politiko na personal na inabutan ng halaga ayon sa hinihingi nilang porsyento mula sa proyekto. Ang pagbabayad na ito ay hindi naman kagustuhan kundi isang hakbang na ginawa namin dahil sa matinding panggigipit. Ilan sa kanila ay sina Kong Antonieta Yudela kasama ang kanyang asawa, Kong Marvin Rillo of Quezon City, Kong Nikki Briones of Aga Party List, Arturo N. Ataide, ama ni Kong Arjo Ataide, Kong Florencio Gabriel Bem Noel of Anwaray Party List, Kong Eliandro Jesus Madroña of Romblon, Kong Benjamin Benji Agarao Jr. Bagamat naging matinding pagsubok ang kapusan ng pondo na nakalaan sa proyekto, pilit at matapat naming sinusunod ang bawat espesipikasyon na nakasaad sa Program of Works na nakasaad sa proyekto ng DPWH. Nakakasiguro kami na nagawa namin ng maayos at matapat ang bahagi o phase ng proyekto na na-award sa amin. Sa katunayan, hindi kami mababayaran ng DPWH kung hindi ito dumaan at pumasa sa maraming material testing na naaayon sa design ng DPWH. Ina-assess at ini-inspect ng DPWH ang bawat proyekto base sa natapos na parte o accomplishment. Napilitan kami na i-absorb ang kabawasan na ito na nagdudulot ng maliit na kita o pagkalubi sa ilang projects. Para makabawi, ginadamihan na lang namin ang partisipasyon sa mga projects. Taliwas sa mga lumalabas na may mga impormasyon sa publiko, hindi kailanman kami gumawa ng ghost projects. At masugid kami nag-i-inspect sa lahat ng aming mga natapos na projects. Handa po kaming kumistigo ng walang pilit at kusang loob bilang state witness at sabihin ang lahat ng nangyayaring katiwalaan ng Kamara, DPWH at iba pang mga kawani ng gobyerno upang gawin ang tama. Kami ay lubos na humihingi ng tulong sa Senate Blue Ribbon Committee na pinamumunuan ng buting Chairman Senator Dante Marcoleta at kay President Bongbong Marcos para sa proteksyon at seguridad ng aming pamilya. Ang salaysay na ito ay kusang loob naming ginawa at walang sino mang pumilit na gawin ito. Sa katotohanan ng lahat ay nilagdaan namin ang salaysay na ito ng kusang loob at walang pumipilit. Sign, Pacifico of Vizcaya, nagsasalaysay.
Alright, narinig natin po ang revelation, ang confession ni Pacifico and Sara Vizcaya po, no? Diyan po sa hearing kaninang umaga hanggang alas few minutes before 3 p.m. no? Ang Blue Ribbon Committee. And diyan po 17, you just imagine, 17 pala, no? 17 congressmen plus ang mga officials, top officials, engineers, directors dyan po sa Department of Public Works and Highways are also involved. And mayroon, as what si President Bongbong Marcos mentioned recently or earlier, mayroon lang 15 top contractors po nationwide awarded with this flood control projects po, nationwide yun po, no? And ang halaga is by the billions po. Ang kompanya ni Pacifico and Sara, they managed to secure slightly over 400 projects, no? 400 projects po. And some of the projects have been identified as ghost projects. Substandard. And ang dami pa mga kalukuhan po. Now, lumabas na po na in cahoots talaga itong mga politicians natin, mga congressmen po. 17 of them. And the number might further increase po as things will go on. As the investigation will go on. So, at the end of the day, siguro nag-realize na itong mga diskaya na bakit sila lang put everything sa mga contractors sa kanila ang blame. So, they decided to come out and reveal kung sino-sino po, kung sino-sino po involved dito po sa anomalya, which is very, very sad, very disappointing, and the Filipinos are fed up and very angry for what is happening po sa taxpayers' money po ng mga Filipinos po. We are paying our taxes religiously po, only to find out na itong pera namin, pera ng mga Pilipino, mga taxes ng mga Pilipino po, goes to the wrong people. Goes to the wrong people po. You just imagine, itong mga engineers dyan po sa Department of Public Works and Highways. Imagine, they can spend millions of money sa casino, lose millions of money sa casino, at the expense of the taxpayers' money. Grabe, no? And sabi nga ni sinabak nga po, no? Wala na sa Department of Public Works and Highways, another engineer po dyan sa Bulacan, si Juan, si Engineer Henry Alcantara po, no? Ang kasalanan lang niya po is that he did not go and do physical investigation of projects po, no? Sign lang daw siya because he depended on his people sa opisina, which is unacceptable din po, no? Which is really unacceptable. The other thing that I don't agree with this Pacifico and Sara sa affidavit nila po, no? They say all their projects are not substandard, no? Nandyan na po ang quality because ang mga officers ng the Public Works and Highways and other authorities concerned po, they conduct diligently ang sabihin natin ang developments, completion by phases po ang proyekto. Ang proyekto. Imposible yan po. Imposible, especially itong mga ghost projects po, no? Ghost projects. And I don't believe also kay Pacifico and Sara that they're only getting profit of 2 to 5% lang po. 2 to 5% lang po. They sacrifice a small profit dahil takot sila po that they will no longer have any projects anymore. And it will affect their business. It will affect their business. You just imagine po, the congressmen are asking or sabi ni Pacifico, they are giving sa congressman po 25 to 30% ang kickback ng mga congressmen and mga iba pa. So roughly in 1 million, for example, projects, mayroon 25 goes to the congressman or 30% goes to the congressman. Tapos, mayroon pa mga other things that they have to pay ang mga ibang tao kagaya sa Department of Public Works and Highways, no? So, ang remaining balance na lang ng, let's say, 1 million projects, magiging mga 30% na lang po. And out of that 30%, ang contractor must also profit. So, siguro maabot na lang yun mga 20%. And what kind of a project we're going to have, ang worth of project is 1 million, 100% po. Tapos yung pala, 20% na lang ang pondo for that project po. You just imagine. So definitely, mayroon yung kalukuhan po. Definitely, the quality will be badly affected po of the projects. That I disagree. Yon sabi ni Pacifico and Sara that they are sacrificing na ng 2 to 3% or 5% na lang po ang profit nila. Very impossible. And during the sabihin natin hearing, isang sabihin natin district engineer district engineer dyan po din sa Bulacan was cited in contempt by Senator Jinggoy Estrada. Jinggoy Estrada, and ang motion niya po was seconded by Senator Erwin Tulfo, no? Erwin Tulfo, for not telling the truth. And I'm referring to Engineer Price Hernandez po, no? Siya na yan po, palagi with Engineer Henry Alcantara, who goes to the casino and spend millions of money po, no? They play, they lose, they win, pero yung pera po galing sa taong bayan. And yes, they have a lot of expensive cars po, no? A lot of expensive cars. You just imagine itong si Engineer Price Hernandez, when asked about his salary, is only receiving something like 70,000 pesos a month. Pero po, ang mga kotse niya, the cars that he bought, very expensive one, by the million po. And how you manage to get it? Definitely through corruption. Definitely through corruption. Grabe na grabe po. And yeah, I will share you another short footage from Mr. Pacifico po. Bakit? Why they are doing these things? Bakit na po? Why they are forced to do these things? Nandito po. Saan na yun, ito po. Let's listen to him po. Acceptable ba yun po ang rason niya? Will you accept his reasoning or their reasoning? You listen to this.
Ginamit ng mga nasa pwesto sa sistemang ito, wala kami magawa dahil kung hindi kami makikisama, gagawa nila ng problema ang project na na-award sa amin sa pamamagitan ng mutual termination o pagkakaroon ng right-of-way problem na parehong nagdudulot ang hindi matuloy ang implementasyon ng mga proyekto. Matapos naming manalo sa mga bidding, may mga opisyal mula sa DPWs ang lumalapit sa amin para humingi at kumuha ng bahagi nila sa halaga ng proyekto. Ang hinihingi nilang porsyento ay hindi bababa sa 10% at umaabot pa sa 25% na naging kondisyon upang hindi maipit ang implementasyon ng kontrata. Ito ay binibigay namin sa kanila ng cash. Ang bawat transaksyon ay may karampatang voucher at ledger na nagsasaad ng mga araw at kung kailan nila ito natanggap. Ilan?
Yan po. Acceptable ba yun na ang reasoning ni Mr. Pacifico and Sara? For me po, hindi yan po. Ngayon, naipit na kayo po. Ngayon, this is what you're saying. But anyway, what we want, the Filipinos, what we want is, those may kasalanan po, make sure criminal charges are being charged against them, plunder ba, or malversation of funds, or but they have to be behind bars po. Behind bars. Pangit naman po if we still let go this kind of people po, no? See, we are talking about, we are not only talking here about millions, no? It is a billions worth of projects po. Kaya nga po, ano nangyari sa ang bayan natin? Ano nangyari sa buhay ng mga Filipino po? Dahil itong corruption. And no matter what we do, no matter how many trips our president will go out sa mga foreign countries and try to invite them, lure them to come and invest in the Philippines po, hindi yon, magsasid po tayo. We won't be able to achieve our goal in inviting investors, foreign investors, to invest in the Philippines po kung we will not solve itong sabihin natin corruption. Corruption dyan sa Pilipinas. Nobody will trust us anymore. Hindi lang yan po ang corruption po. Dahil sa corruption po, mataas ang standard of living sa Pilipinas, ang kuryente, ang tubig natin po, ang pagkain, dahan, mahal po. Ang Pilipinas, we have plenty of money. We are a rich country, but the problem is that money doesn't go to the proper place. Money goes to irresponsible, greedy, ano pa po, I don't know how to describe these people. When I was watching sabihin natin ang hearing this morning po, my blood was boiling. Totoo lang po. Nakikita ko yon ang mukha ni Engineer Henry Alcantara. Nakita ko ang mukha ni Engineer Prince Hernandez po. Yet they are still denying. Po, no? Nakita ko ang mukha ni Sara at saka ni Pacifico at saka mga other contractors po and other sabihin natin engineers who are outrightly denying that they did not receive money. Just imagine po, narinig natin sa hearing kanina po. In one day, isang contractor, itong babae, si Sally Santos ba yun? You just imagine, she go and bring cash worth 250 million dyan po sa opisina ni Engineer Prince Hernandez po. And according to Engineer Hernandez, he don't even open the boxes po kasi nasa box yun mga pera po. Maglagay maghatid sa opisina niya po kasi nasa taas daw sila po ang office niya. And then he will hand over it to Engineer Henry Alcantara. And Henry Alcantara also denied. He said, no, I did not receive any money from Engineer Hernandez. Imposible po. Really impossible. Really impossible. And dahil dyan po, nagalit din si Senator Jinggoy Estrada. Nagalit din si Senator Erwin Tulfo. That includes also the chairman, si Senator Marcoleta. And of course, si Senator Bato de la Rosa, si Senator Aimee Marcos, nandyan po, no? Si Senator Gatchalian, nandyan din po sa hearing. Nagalit po. And ito nangyari po. I will share you itong video clip po about what happened kay Engineer Prince Hernandez. Nandito po. Let's watch and listen to this. Alright?
Alam mo, give me a good reason why I should not cite you in contempt.
Mr. Chair, dalawa na sila, pati si Alcantara, dahil sinungaling din eh. Pareho sila.
Okay, give me a good reason. Because if your reason is unacceptable to all of us here present, we will be forced to cite you in contempt.
Your Honor, okay lang po bang magkwento ako para medyo maliwanag po? Nung dati po kasi, mga 2023, ako po, pag sinasama po ako ni Boss Henry, si Engineer J.B. Mendoza, si Engineer R.J. Tomasik, saka Engineer Justin Nuevo, pagka po pumupunta kami noon sa Resorts World, nananalo po kami. Totoo po, nananalo po kami ng umabot po ng hundreds of millions sa casino. Pero nung kaya po kami naban,
Para hindi tayo magtagal, ang tinatanong kasi sa iyo ni Senator Jinggoy, bakit ka nagkaroon ng isang ID na ang pangalan ay De Guzman Marvin Santos? Ito ay inisyu sa iyo ng LTO. Paano mangyayari yun?
wala po kung ganyang ID, Your Honor. Basta pumunta lang po kami, sinama lang
Ito
po
nga
kami.
yung ID mo inisyu ng LTO. Sa LTO law, criminal pa ito Hawak namin yung certification ng Okada, ang registered name mo ron, membership mo, Marvin Santos de Guzman. Kaya kapag hindi ka nagsabi ng totoo ngayon, ikaw ang kauna-unahang masasite in contempt at hindi ka makakauwi sa araw na ito.
Your Honor, nagsasabi.
Sabihin mo na yung totoo sapagkat dito sa record namin, halimbawa, noong March 2025, Okada ito nanalo ka ng 6,653,500 pesos. April 1, natalo ka ng 25 million plus. May 2025, natalo ka ng 10 million. Ayun, June 2025, natalo ka ng 14,160,750. July 2025, nanalo ka ng 15,914,000. Ito recorded ito eh. Kung hindi ka magtatapat, I will cite you in contempt.
Your Honor,
Kanino mo kinukuha ang mga perang ginagasta mo?
Your Honor, sinasabi niyo po is Okada po.
O ano ba yung sasabihin ko? Ito nga, record nga ito eh. Kanino nang gagaling ang perang ginagasta mo para magkasino ka? Gumagamit ka pa ng pangalan para hindi kayo mahalata. Halata na kayo eh. Pati si Alcantara, ito ang ginagamit niyang pangalan, Joseph Castro Villegas. LTO issued license cards.
Your Honor, kahit kailan po, wala po akong lisensyang ganyan. Wala. Basta sinama lang po.
Nasa sayo kung hindi mo aminin, ngunit itong perang ipinanalo mo at ipinatalo, katakataka ka, paano mo nagamit ito? Paano ka nakakataya ng ganito at nananalo ka ng ganito karaming pera?
Your Honor, ang natatandaan ko lang po, napunta po ako ng Okada is umattend lang po kami ng convention.
So hindi mo aaminin na ikaw ay nanalo kahit na ito ay nasa record na ng Okada, hindi ka aamin ito?
Your Honor, hindi po talaga. Hindi po totoo yan, Your Honor.
Let me show 3 iPhone mistakes made by old people. Number 1 is deleting photos manually. Number 2 is deleting all the apps.
Mr. Chair, can we just cite this individual Hernandez in contempt, Mr. Chair? Kasi malinaw pa sa sikat ng araw, nagsisinungaling na may dokumento ka ba? Pwede mo magsinungaling ang LTO? Ikaw ay nagsisinungaling. Huwag mong pilitin. Talagang hindi na. Sinasabi na nga namin ni Senator Jinggoy kay Chairman i-contempt ka na para wala pang tao yung kulungan namin sa ilalim.
Your Honor, nagsasabi po ako ng totoo. Nandito po ako para makipag-cooperate po.
Kung
Nagsasabi
gusto
po.
mo makipag-cooperate, aminin mo na lang sapagkat ito yung sulat ng Okada sa akin mismo, dated September 5, 2025. Ako na nga ang nagbibigay sa iyo ng tsansa na sana umamin ka na sa kabila ng sinasabi ng mga kasama ko na pwede ka na namin i-contempt ngayon.
Sinabi mo hindi ka nagpupunta sa Okada, di ba?
Ang sabi ko po, napunta po ako sa Okada nung ang huli ko po alala is yung
Naglalaro
play
ka doon. Naglalaro ka doon. Was there an instance na naglaro ka doon?
Ang alam ko
No,
po,
answer me directly, please.
yes po.
Oh.
Yes, Your Honor.
The documents that are in possession with Senator Marcoleta, these documents don't lie.
Your Honor, pwede po ba akong Kasi po, ang pinaliwanag po ni Honorable Marcoleta is ito daw pong last June, May, April is nandun po ako. Wala po ako doon. Hindi po ako napunta doon, Your
Pero
Honor.
naglalaro ka doon. Doesn't matter.
Nakapaglaro po ako isang beses.
Tama ba yung sinasabi ni Chairman na nagpatalo ka ng ganong kalaki halaga? Record na yan. Galing sa casino.
Ang sinasabi ko sa iyo ay base sa record ng Casino Okada. Hindi namin invento ito. Kaya kung hindi mo aminin ito, mapipilitan ako pag may nag-motion dito na kasama ko at merong nag-second demotion, you will be cited in contempt. At alam mo ang naging epekto nito.
I second the motion of Senator Erwin Tulfo.
Is there already a motion?
It did, Mr. Chair.
There is a motion to cite anong pangalan na ito? Bryce Hernandez, a.k.a. Marvin Santos de Guzman, in contempt. And seconded by Senator Jinggoy. Any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. It is
Alright, yun po. Cited in contempt na po si Bryce Hernandez dahil he repeatedly denied any knowledge of going to the casino and itong mga transactions po. And I myself, at saka mga Filipinos dito po sa Sabah, we totally agree with the decision of the Blue Ribbon Committee po. And hindi lang yan po. Lahat sila po, sino-sino. Go down also itong mga investigation, itong 17 congressmen involved. Although, kailangan pa yun po ebidensya. Kailangan pa yun po ebidensya, no? Ang testimony, ang affidavit ni Pacifico and Sara when they started naming kung sino-sino involved sa anomalous awarding and implementation of the flood control projects dyan po sa Pilipinas. Dyan po sa Pilipinas. Sana lang po we can go down to the root and make sure that there will be accountability, and those people who are really involved, now they will be punished po. They will be put behind bars po. Plunder ba? Plunder, because plunder in the Philippine law, 50 million and above. Now we are talking about billions here po, no? Sobrang-sobra na po, they qualify for plunder. If not plunder, siguro malversation, no? Malversation, perjury, or whatever lang. So, kailangan talaga yun po, no? We totally agree with the decision of the Blue Ribbon Committee po, spearheaded by Senator Rodante Marcoleta. All right? Now, during the hearing this morning, ang first topic nila po tungkol sa national budget natin po 2025-2026. Now, one of the resource person dyan po is Congressman Toby Tiangco. Now, mayroon siyang po ebidensya, no? USB po. He wanted to show it during the recently concluded House of the Representative hearing ng TRICOM po on the flood control projects po and the budget ng Pilipinas po, no? But the TRICOM committee did not allow him to show ang USB niya po, to play the USB, kasi nandyan po sana, he wanted to explain. And he was calling for invite also itong former appropriation committee chairman ng House of Representatives, si Saldico, and if possible even the speaker, incumbent speaker, si Martin Romualdez, Representative or Congressman Martin Romualdez po. But he was not given that opportunity. Pero kanina po, he was given the opportunity po to explain, and nakita natin po na paano ginawa ang budget natin. And there is totally a need for Congressman Saldico, who is now, wala po sa Pilipinas. He is now in United States of America, reportedly undergoing medical treatment po. Medical treatment. So, let me share with you a portion of the statements of Congressman Toby Tiangco po this morning. Nandito po. You listen, watch, and kayo nang bahala po ang opinion ninyo po. Observations and opinion. Nandito, let's listen to this.
Importante. Bakit po napakahalaga na kailangang malaman po natin kung sino-sino yung mga taong responsable doon sa pagbibigay ng insertions po doon sa BICAM o kahit sa iba pang mga sessions po.
Kasi kami po, ako po, hindi ako member ng BICAM, no? So, natuklasan na lang namin ito noong, ako nalaman ko lang yan, I think, March 24. March 24 ko na lang nalaman na ganun kalaki. Kala natin nung una, PhilHealth lang binawasan, DepEd lang. Later on, natuklasan ko po na yung mga flagship projects ng administrasyon, ni Pangulong BBM, ibig sabihin po ng flagship projects, yan po yung mga foreign assisted projects, ay tinanggalan po nila ng pondo para maisingit yung mga pondo na gusto na isingit doon sa
BICAM. So kaya po, ako rin, napakahalaga po rin sa akin na maimbitahan si Congressman Saldico. At doon po sa House of Representatives, meron pong small committee doon pagkatapos ng second reading. So ang pag-insert is not only doon sa BICAM, meron pang insertion doon sa small committee. So since walang makakasagot niyan kung hindi si Congressman Saldico, yun po, i-request po natin na siya imbitahan.
Alam po ba ninyo kung sino-sino yung miyembro ng small committee na binabanggit ninyo?
Sa House of Representatives po.
Opo.
Yes po. Ang chairman po noon is si Congressman Saldico, tapos senior vice chairman ng Committee on Appropriations, majority leader of the 19th Congress, and minority leader of the 19th Congress, Your Honor.
Sino po yung vice chair ng appropriations?
Senior vice chair si Congresswoman Stella Luz Quimbo po.
Sino po yung majority leader?
Congressman Manix Felipe po, Your Honor.
Minority leader?
Congressman Nonoy Libanan po, Your
Sa
Honor.
mga tweets, silang apat po ang nagko-compose ng small committee.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ang nangyayari po, kasi alam ko rin naman po, dahil nagtagal din naman ako sa mababang kapulungan, kumisan po ay 2 hanggang 3 buwan po nating pinagdidebatihan yung budget. Mag-aaway-aaway pa nga po, kung minsan nga inaabot tayo ng madaling araw. At katapos-tapusan ang sinasabi ninyo ay 4 na tao lang pala ang gagawa ng mga bagay na inyong gusto sanang malaman kung anong nangyari.
Tama po kayo, Your Honor. Di ba po, sabi ko nga, magtatalo-talo, magbibigay ng inputs yung mga kasamahan natin. Tapos sa dulo pala, yung 4 na tao lang ang magdidesisyon. At yung problema po doon sa 4 na tao na yun, at least yung BICAM po, may BICAM report po yun eh. Makikita sa BICAM report kung ano po yung original net budget ng isang departamento, Your Honor. Tapos makikita po kung ano yung dinagdag or binawas, Your Honor, at makikita yung natirang pondo. Ang problema po doon sa small committee, wala pong ano yun. Di ba po, nung unang araw namin ng budget briefing, nandun po si Sec Mina, nandun po si Yusek Cathy, hiningi ko na po yung report ng small committee. Kasi po, di ba, sa rules po natin sa House of Representatives, Section 39, kung di ako nagkakamali, pero baka mali ako, nakasulat po doon na after 7 days after may pasa ang isang batas, or 15 days pagkatapos mag-end ng session, dapat po i-file sa archives lahat ng reports tungkol sa isang House bill. So,
Alright, yun po, narinig natin kay Congressman Toby Chanco, who is an independent congressman dyan po sa House of Representatives. He doesn't belong to the minority, but he's an independent congressman po. And ang record shows that Congressman Toby Chanco has been questioning this issue ever since he became the congressman a few years ago, several years ago po. So, consistent ang ano niya po, ang advocacy niya po, no? And let's see what will happen next. Whether ang Kongreso will now allow him to show some evidences po during the next hearing that will be tomorrow. Mayroon naman ang TRICOM hearing tomorrow. That will be September 9, no? September 9. So, don't worry. Nandito po si Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico. I'm going to monitor the situation or the hearing, and then I'll make sure that you will be properly be informed of the result or what happened during the hearing tomorrow. Alright. Mayroon pa tayo isang issue dito po, no? Isang issue po. When we talk about the flood control projects, anomalous flood control projects dyan po sa Pilipinas, no? Dyan po sa Pilipinas. Now, mayroon tayo ongoing investigation carried out by the Blue Ribbon Committee of the Senate, no? And at the same time, mayroon din ongoing investigation yon po sa House of Representatives carried out by sabihin natin ang TRICOM, no? And then I was made to understand COA is also investigating, and I was made to understand that the Executive Department is also doing some investigations po. And expected maybe this week, anytime this week or next week po, mabuo na yon po. They're going to establish or form an independent body, investigation na commission to investigate itong flood control projects dyan po sa Pilipinas by as announced by President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. No? But what is the difference between itong mga ongoing investigation? Ang Blue Ribbon Committee, ang TRICOM, ang COA, ang Department of or Executive Department, and the soon to be established ang independent commission to investigate itong sabihin natin flood control projects, anomalous flood control projects dyan sa Pilipinas. For me, I believe na it will just confuse sa mga Filipinos. Why? Why? Because all these bodies doing the investigation po, no? Like the Senate, Blue Ribbon, this is in aid for legislation lang po. Same thing goes with the House of Representatives. Na? And then ang COA or the Executive Department, mayroon pa sila ongoing ngayon po. Wala po. They don't have the power to subpoena, to file charges against people found guilty of the crime or involved in this anomalous anomalous projects po, flood control projects po. Wala po eh. Nothing. What the Filipino wants po, no? That includes ang mga Filipinos dito po sa Malaysia, particularly dito po sa Sabah. What we want is an investigation body that has all the power to call anybody without any bias, fear, or favors, and if found that they are really involved in these anomalous transactions, may power itong group or investigation group po to file charges against the culprits. But basing on what is happening now po, wala itong lahat mga investigation po, wala silang power. What they do, they have only the power to recommendatory power lang yun sila po. After the investigation, whatever their findings, now they will recommend it to the Ombudsman, to the Department of Justice, to Sandigang Bayan. Then only, they will submit all the findings, and then it's the Department of Justice or the Sandigang Bayan or the Ombudsman will file cases against these people. And it will take time. See, it will take time. This is what we don't want. We want concrete actions po. Concrete actions. So, dapat lang po, kailangan yun po, no? But what is happening now, wala, nobody. All this investigating group po, they don't have the power to file charges, criminal charges against, and what is worse, what if itong ongoing investigations po, different groups doing the investigation po, ano if iba-iba ang mga findings nila po? Ma-confuse na naman ang mga Filipino. Ma-confuse. Let's say, for example, ang TRICOM will say, itong congressman, itong congressman is not guilty. There's no enough evidence. Pero sabi naman ang Blue Ribbon Committee, klarong-klaro, ebidensya, nandyan, involved siya. Tapos sabi naman ang COA or whoever, the government agency say, hey, this is it. Ito lang po ang mga tao na involved. Yung mga iba hindi. We cannot recommend to file charges po. So, what will happen? Wala mangyari po. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. Then, after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, tapos darating na ang election, nakalimutan na naman tayo po. Kagaya what happened to the, which many describe it as the worst national budget 2025 in the history of the Philippines po. They are trying to some people are trying to mindset sa mga Filipinos, kalimutan na natin yon. Mag-isip na tayo ngayon sa 2026. What happened before is before. Personal na yon. Dito na tayo sa 2026 budget. Hindi pwede yung ganyan po. Hindi pwede yung ganyan. Anyway, bakit sinabi ko yung ganyan po? Nandito ang report from another mainstream media po sa GMA. GMA po. Network. Nandito po ang explanation, ang interview ng GMA kay President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos regarding the issue. Let's listen to this. Let's listen to this.
Yung mga anomalous flood control. Kay Pangulong Bongbong Marcos na nanggaling. Sa susunod na linggo ay aanunsyo na kung sino-sino ang magiging miyembro ng independent body na mag-iimbestiga sa mga flood control project.
So, wala pang formal name. Pero yun ang binubuo namin. Independent Commission para imbestigahan. Ito nga ang mga lumalabas na anomalya sa mga flood control project. Yung mga personalities, ayoko namang maunahan ang actual na announcement dahil hindi pa solid talaga. Pero malapit na.
Tatlo ang magiging miyembro ng komisyon. At ayon sa Pangulo sa aking eksklusibong one-on-one interview nung Sabado, wala sa mga ito ang magmumula sa gobyerno. Paano sila maiba po sa mga existing agency like COA, Ombudsman?
They're completely separate from government.
But how powerful will they be?
We will give them all the powers that are necessary for them to come to a conclusion, to come to some findings. Para meron naman, alam natin kung ano yung nangyari.
At hindi man ibinunyag sa ngayon kung sino-sino ang mga ito, nagbigay ng mga clue ang Pangulo. Kailangan daw na mayroong abogado o isang justice. Kailangan din daw ng investigador at forensic accountant. How powerful will this body be? Will they be able to even investigate the congresspeople,
They
the Senate,
will have
subpoena powers?
To investigate anything and anyone. Otherwise, then what they will have this as may secret ka na naman, o may pinoproteksyonan dahil kasama sa politika, whatever. Pagka nangyari, wala rin kabuluhan yung kanilang investigasyon.
Sabi pa ng Pangulo, maaring hinga ng tulong ng komisyon ang lahat ng ahensya ng gobyerno, halimbawa sa NBI para sa investigasyon o kaya sa COA para sa impormasyon. Wala raw sasantuhin kahit pa kaalyado o kaanak.
I said, we're making an omelet. We're going to have to break some eggs. There's just no way around it.
Even if they're relatives as well.
Well, who's more important? Your friend? Your political supporter? Or every single ordinary Filipino citizen? Who's more important? To me, it's the Filipino citizen. Nobody is more important than Filipinos. Nobody, not one person is more important. Not me, not anybody is more important. Whatever.
Pero sabi rin ng Pangulo, rekomendatory lamang ang kapangyarihan ng komisyon. Pagkatapos daw nilang suriin lahat ng impormasyong nakuha o nabigay sa kanila, magre-rekomenda kung dapat pang kasuhan o hindi ang isang inimbestigahan. Ang kanilang rekomendasyon pwedeng ibigay sa DOJ o kaya sa Ombudsman para sa paghahain ng kaso. Sabi ng Pangulo, naging malaking tulong ang sumbong sa Pangulo website na hindi lang daw reklamo sa mga flood control project ang nakuha.
Since we created the website, we have 12,000 plus already reports that are coming in. And
Alright, narinig natin po. Sabi ni President Bongbong Marcos, itong independent commission to investigate the flood control projects, anomalous flood control projects, is just a recommendatory, they only have recommendatory powers po. It means they will just recommend whatever their findings, they will recommend to the Ombudsman, to the Department of Justice. Yun na po ang sabi ko po, no? Mas maganda sana po itong independent body investigating itong flood control projects po, anomalous flood control projects po. Sana they have the power to file immediately criminal charges against these individuals found to be involved in these anomalous transactions po. Yun po ang kailangan. Yun ang gusto ang mga Filipino. Ha? So, alright, medyo mahirap na po magsalita ng marami, and ang purpose natin dito po sa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico, is just to pass the message po sa inyo of what is happening. Sa mga kababayan ko dito po sa Malaysia, particularly sa Sabah, pass the message of what is happening dyan po sa Pilipinas when it comes to the political scenario, economic situation, and the security aspect dyan po sa Pilipinas, or ang mga breaking news dyan po sa Pilipinas. Ha? Dyan po sa Pilipinas. So, hanggang dito na lang when we talk about itong investigation. Let's wait until tomorrow po. No? Mayroon na naman tayong sabihin natin hearing. And this time around from TRICOM, the House of Representatives. But before I will conclude this episode today, September 8, Monday po, I will share with you another news article. I got it from the Philippine Star. Ang heading ng news article is Romualdez, House lawmakers refute Diskaya kickback claims in Department of Public Works and Highways contract po. Nandito po, let's listen. I will read this news article sa inyo po, fresh pa. Construction magnate Pacifico Curly Diskaya accused 17 House lawmakers of demanding kickbacks from his family's government infrastructure projects. But several of those implicated have categorically denied the allegations. House Speaker Martin Romualdez dismissed Diskaya's claim as a flat-out lie, describing the allegation against him as false, malicious, and nothing more than name-dropping. I have no involvement, no permission, and no blessing for such activities, sabi ni Romualdez. At the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearing on Monday or today, Diskaya alleged that Romualdez and Representative Elzaldi Co, former House Appropriation Chairperson, benefited from portions of the government projects through other lawmakers who purportedly solicited money from contractors on their behalf. He added that some Department of Public Works and Highways or DPWH employees claimed 25% of project funds were intended to Co, while another lawmaker said the requests were sourced from unprogrammed funds and insertions allegedly approved by Romualdez or Speaker Romualdez. The House Speaker, whose leadership has been questioned over the controversies surrounding the lower chamber and its ties to contractors, said no one is capable of bribing him. Romualdez warned that anyone exploiting his name for profit will be held accountable, pledging to clean the system and project public funds. Excuse me po. Yun po ang sabi o na-deny si Speaker Romualdez po. No? Speaker Romualdez. Let's see po. Sabi ni President Bongbong Marcos, no matter you are my relative, my friends, or political affiliate, or whoever po, kasin ba? Let's wait for the findings of the investigation. Mas importante pa raw, sabi ni Bongbong Marcos, or President Bongbong Marcos, ang importante pa ang interest and welfare of the Filipinos, not individual people who are close to him, his own relative or cousin ba, or political affiliates, or those who supported him in the previous elections. Wala na yun po. Importante daw po ang mga Filipinos. Let's see po. No? Let's see. And we hope that whatever, sabi nga ni President Marcos Jr. Heads will be rolling. Let's see po. Tingnan natin po. So far, hanggang ngayon, since last month, wala pang criminal charges filed. And nakita natin po, kagaya ni Engineer Alcantara and other people po involved, named in this anomalous transactions po, mayroon na silang mga lawyers. Mayroon na silang mga lawyers po ngayon. And kung ang mahirap, kagaya anong sinami yon sa programa ni idol ko po, si Ted Filon this morning, sa programa niya, Ted Filon with DJ Shasha. Sabi niya, mayroon na case, he cite an example, mayroon isang babae dyan po sa Pilipinas, he stole lotion po sa grocery ba yun? Supermarket po, worth 1,000 plus pesos. And ang rason ng babae is that he stole it because she wants to sell it back and use the money to buy some medicines para sa anak niya na may sakit. May anak niya na may sakit. And mayroon pa another incident or report na side example din si Ted Filon, yon tao that stole something po, only he wants to sell that items po to buy medicine also for his sick son. Lahat yun po, the act alone is wrong. I do not condemn, I condemn this kind of activity po, I condemn. Mali yun po, stealing is mali po, But the only thing, the difference that is that when congressmen, when rich people, steal money by the billions, mahirap ka to put them behind bars. While poor people who stole things only worth few thousands or few hundreds po, immediately po, nandyan na, agad-agad behind bars. Justice? Fairness? Ganon ba yon? Ang selective justice ba tayo dyan sa Pilipinas? Ang mga hirap, diretso sa behind bars? Ang mga mayaman, we have to follow ang due process? Ang due process is selective ba? Para sa mga mayaman lang? At saka ang mga mahirap, walang rights for due process? Yan po. That's how I look at it. So siguro hanggang dito na lang po ang programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Wag natin kalimutan, before we end today, this day po, September 8, let us say a prayer to our Mama Mary, who is celebrating her birthday today, September 8. So with this, once again, si Nico Fabian would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all. I hope I managed to give you the news that you deserve. Sa mga Filipinos ko po, kababayan ko po dito sa Malaysia, mga kapatid natin, o overseas Filipino workers, mga kapatid natin dyan po sa Pilipinas. Till my next episode, bye and I love you.